Going to do a short demo of recording with analog gear as well as mixing with analog gear as an insert. So first thing I'll need to do is patch my analog gear from my guitar into my interface. Everything is connected on the back from the patch bay into the hardware, and I'll be connecting my guitar from the guitar into the pedals, and the pedals are going into the DI box. The DI box from here into the input of my preamp, channel 1 preamp. And now I can go to Logic and choose input 1 and monitor. And now go back to my preamp and need to turn on my guitar pedal. Gonna get a clean signal first. So now I have a signal coming into Logic. And it's still fairly quiet. So I can turn on some of these settings that I have preset on this channel. So this is my left channel where the guitar is coming in. Now that I have all of my signals working, we can adjust the trim, or if we want, in Logic, I like to use an amp, and we'll switch to clean amp signal as much as possible, turn off all of the extra components. And now I can turn on some of my other effects pedals. So now that I am able to record with the analog gear, I'll demonstrate a little bit of a insert setup. What's going to happen here is I'm taking the outputs from my interface and sending them through the analog gear, then back into Logic. So the easiest thing to see first would be if I get rid of this and choose a sample. And from the mix window on the effects, if you go to the I/O stereo insert, I'll use outputs 3 and 4 since have those set up properly, and use the inputs on my interface 1 and 2. And now from my patch bay, if I'll go out from the 3 interface output 3 to the input of my preamp and my output channel 2 set up there as well. So output 4 to input 2, just like I had it set in Logic. And now it should be going through my preamps here. So I'll play back from Logic. The easiest way to tell is if I mute these 2 preamps first. Now we know the signal is passing through that unit. And we'll try this unit here first. So I've got those, and now we can try the compressor. These ones take a little bit longer to warm up, but I like to use a signal utility test oscillator. Now that we're seeing signal pass through there, if you want to print this region, then you can print that, and since it's picking up a little bit of signal noise, I can mute this and it'll stop printing. Just like that. Now if we play back, so as you can see, this is a simple setup for this kind of application with the hardware insert. We can use this as a master signal chain or on individual tracks, instruments, or from recording. Now, as a final demonstration here in Pro Tools, we can have a setup from your inserts. If we go to our I/O and select channel 1 and 2 output, has to be the same on Pro Tools from outputs to your inputs. So the reason why I have my outputs from my interface right here normaled to my inputs of my preamp, and normal to the EQ, normal to the compressor, and the compressor normal to the inputs of my interface. And the reason that is because Pro Tools only allows you to have your outputs routed the same as your inputs, being 1 and 2 in my case, differently from Logic, like in Logic when I used outputs 3 and 4 to inputs 1 and 2. But for this purpose, we have everything normaled on my patch bay, so I don't have any connections. This connection is from my mic that I'm using now, but everything is normaled from my outputs 1 and 2, line outputs, to analog gear, and then back into my interface input. And I've labeled this my 500S, and now when I would like to insert an I/O insert, I can choose my 500 series S there. So this is bypassed. likewise, if I wanted to put this on my drum sub, which is being routed out to my dry sub, to the sub bus. Now we have an insert here. And now that my output is from channel 1 and 2, I can trim from my output level here. That's controlling the amount of input going into my preamp. And as for logic, we'll need to go out from output 3 back to input of my preamp. I'll put 4 to my second channel. And we have the input IO here, again, 3 and 4 to 1 and 2.